All right. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? All right, so I want y'all to know. This is the African, Simon, the Syrian. This is what Syrians look like. See that? That hair? This is what Syrians look like. You see me? Simon, the Syrian. All right? Syria. Think about Syria. Think about what's going on in Syria right now. Think about Syria. Think about Donald Trump. Think about Syria. More importantly, think about all of the leaders of the Middle East. Think about the leader of Syria, Assad. Think about the picture that they give y'all of Assad. Think about the picture that they give y'all of Saddam Hussein. Think about the picture that they give y'all of Ahmadinejad in Iran. Think about the picture that they give y'all of the leader of Iraq. Think about all of the leaders of the Middle East. Every leader that they gave y'all from the Middle East, I said it on purpose, that they gave y'all. They gave y'all Assad. They gave y'all Ahmadinejad. They got the biggest charade going on, the Shriners of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry and of Manly P. Hall Freemasonry. They had the biggest charade going on. All right? Albert Pike, over 100 years ago, who wrote their Bible, predicted that there was going to be 3 world wars. Go on the internet, look it up. He predicted that there was going to be 3 world wars. And he said the 3rd world war was going to be between Israel and Islam. And for over 100 years, they've been using his playbook. And they did every revolution in history straight out of his playbook. The American Revolution, all of the revolutions in Europe, the European revolutions, every single revolution, the First World War, World War II, every single solitary, the French Revolution, the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, every single revolution, every one, the sex revolution, the drug revolution, every single one has been out of this playbook. Every single one. What an Arab means is when the European Greeks were introduced into the mix between the descendants of Shem and the descendants of Japheth. Both of them were African brothers. A set of triplets. Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Noah's 3 sons. Shem gave birth to the children of Israel. Japheth gave birth to every nation that's not in Africa. God himself, the creator himself, came down and blessed all of them. And God himself expanded Japheth's territory because he was the firstborn of the triplets. And the world was divided up between those 3 sons and Noah, who got the territory east. The far east. Because his wife was Naamah, the daughter of Lamech, the sister to Tubal-Cain and Jubal-Cain, who they had prostituted out, who they were defiling, raping, maiming, pillaging, and Noah went, rescued Naamah, married Naamah, extended the plan of redemption to Naamah, rescued her from them. And then after the flood, Noah and Naamah, because Naamah was the descendant of, or the east, the lands of the east, the birthright was given to Eve's daughter who married Cain. Those lands of the east was given when God said, yours, I will put enmity between Satan's seed that comes through Cain, that came through Cain's line, and your seed, Eve. The Messiah will come through your daughters and he will crush his head, and the serpent, Satan, will bruise the Messiah, Jesus Christ, heel. But your daughters will carry this birthright. And then when Cain needed a wife, he came to Adam and Eve, and Adam's daughter, who had the birthright, married Cain. And then Cain went off wandering, and then she, who had an everlasting covenant with God and also had her mother's birthright, she was the queen of those lands. And when Cain's descendants finally went astray with Lamech and Tubal-Cain and Jubal-Cain, and when the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair and went to marry as many of them as they could, Genesis chapter 6, all that is describing is Lamech, Tubal-Cain, Jubal-Cain. Tubal-Cain provided the music, the satanic worship music in their 3-ring circus. They started a 3-ring circus of everything that is satanic and defiling, bestiality, prostitution, male on male prostitution, female prostitution, to their pagan god Pan. Pan worship. They worshiped Pan in caves. They were cavemen. The Neanderthals and cavemen who worshipped in caves were descendants of Cain, who were restless wanderers and vagabonds on the earth. That was based off of Cain's own prophetic word. Cain said, my curse, my punishment is more than I can bear. I will be a vagabond. I will be separated from your presence. And he was right. So that Neanderthal period, what Europeans don't want you to know, the reason they created the whole myth and fabrication of evolution is because they don't want you to know that while they were in caves, Cain lived in caves. He was a restless wanderer, a vagabond. God said, the ground won't even produce from you. He couldn't even provide food for himself. So that whole quest for fire, you know that movie about the cavemen, Quest for Fire? Ray Dong Chong was the starring female in the movie. It's called Quest for Fire. That period and the quote-unquote so-called antediluvian period were running concurrently and simultaneously, which means the prosperity and the abundance that produced the Fertile Crescent later, almost 2,000 years later. The civilization that Europe has been trying to mythologically describe is the civilization that African ancestors lived. The highest civilization ever that human beings has ever seen. The civilization that we live in now has devolved from the highest superior civilization ever. Because you follow and worship, you follow cavemen, and you have caveman religions. Caveman systems of worship. When Europe usurped the children of Israel and turned them out during the Hellenistic Empire, because those cavemen didn't get any type of knowledge and information until their men slept with Israelite men. So the Hebrew Israelites run around here talking about like they got a monopoly on knowledge, on spiritual knowledge. But they don't never tell you that those same Hebrew Israelites was the same ones who, when Alexander the Great came up and started the Hellenistic Empire, in the Hellenistic period, which he stripped and bit and copied all of the knowledge from Egypt, all of the knowledge from Africa, and claimed it and labeled it and rebranded it as Grecian knowledge. Plato, Socrates, Homer, all of these so-called Greek Greek masters of Greek mythology, all they did was worship your ancestors. If you are a person of color, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, they worship them. They will never tell it to you. That's why they created Poseidon for Shem, for Japheth, Zeus for Shem, the father of the Israelites. Shem is Zeus, and Ham is Hermes. Also in Egyptian mythology, Ham is Thought, the god Thought, that they give the credit of all knowledge. Hermes is the father of wisdom. That's why in Egypt they talk about the hermetic seal. Something that has a hermetic seal is sealed hermetically. That's the ultimate mathematics. That's the ultimate everything. Alchemy, all of these sciences, all of this knowledge and information, they worshiping you. And they rebranded it and relabeled it and repackaged it as them and took the credit for it. And they've been worshiping, they've been eating out of the African cesspool, the African toilet. They've been eating out of the African garbage can. The stuff that Adam threw away, the trash that Adam wouldn't even touch, the crap. They consumed it, and then they rebranded it as theirs, and now they feed it to you. And these Greek letter fraternities, these secret societies, then they take the European model, and then they rebranded and packaged that trash, that cesspool knowledge and information as Christianity. And now they're standing in your pulpits worshiping Osiris and Isis and Horus and then they like, now that we got them deceived, we're gonna exterminate them. That's what the whole Third World War thing is. They want to create order out of chaos and keep y'all, while y'all in darkness and while y'all deceived and while y'all the tail, they want to annihilate y'all. They got a Georgia monument. They got a Georgia monument. They got a monument in Georgia called the Georgia Guidestones that says they want to take the population, the Earth's population, down to 500 million people. They want to do a purge. Now, when Donald Trump comes and says to you, make America great, and then says in 2020, when he runs again, he claims he's going to run again, and he say his slogan is going to be, keep America great. That's the same slogan for the Purge movie. If you study the Purge movie, it's one night a year where they could just kill all Americans. That is their dream. That is their vision. That's their goal. They want to kill and annihilate you in your darkness, in your deception, while you go into your church. I'm here at Oakwood University. These cats calling themselves Seventh-day Adventists. They call themselves the remnant. They say they got the truth. Now, let me tell you, I got thousands and thousands of my brothers and sisters who was raised in this, who know the Most High God and know the Creator. I'm not making a blind statement on every single Seventh-day Adventist. I'm talking about the corporate system. I'm talking about the system of worship. They have fallen into the same trap that the Pharisees fell into. The Pharisees took something that was supposed to be a training. Give you an example of the sanctuary system, what the sanctuary system is supposed to be. Perfect example of what the sanctuary system and what your denominations is supposed to be. Take the combine in football. The NFL combine. It's just like your educational systems. All of y'all systems are defunct. Your educational system, your spiritual systems, your health systems. Because these cats who want to destroy you while you're deceived, they run your system, and the people who claim to know God are following after their example. Rome inserted themselves between the walk that the Messiah actually did on this earth, and they distorted for the past 3,000 years. Julius Caesar up until now, Alexander the Great up until now. It's like 3,000 years. They took everything that we are as Africans, who were the original civilization. While they were wandering in caves, worshiping the pagan god Pan, Africans like this dude named Seth. Africans like this dude named Enoch, walk with God. African dudes like this dude named Jared, walk with God. Face to face. God is a face-to-face God. This is what I'm telling y'all. The combine system that y'all been taught, this education, this Western education, it's a combine system. It wasn't meant, nobody's meant to permanently be playing in the combine. You go and you play and you demonstrate your skills, and then you get selected to play on a team. And those who's supposed to play on his team, that's right, you seen. And you see his color. So the fact that they know the truth about all of this and they still following, that tells you they done made the same, they done fall into the same. I'm talking about the system itself. I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the system. I'm talking about the corporate head, Ted Wilson. Talk about corporate individuals who are supposed to be the leaders of this movement. They following the European distortion, when the cats in the highways and the byways who never had access to this true information is getting gobbled up because they could see the European mess for what it is, trash. Everything that y'all been taught is trash because it's come through the European filter and the European ancestors from England, Ireland, Scotland, all of those, Germany, all of those places, all of them cats pledge allegiance to the Roman Catholic Church, to the institution of Christianity that has come through Roman Catholicism. And Roman Catholicism has never been anything but the beast itself. So if you have any of your faith, belief systems, or anything that has come through that filter, and our brothers in the street know it. That's why these cats, Christianity has been the laughing stock. That's because they have lost, these cats who claim to be the remnant have lost the marketing and branding game. The same cats that was worshiping in the cave have rebranded themselves Even though they worship Satan, they've rebranded themselves as followers of Christ. And on purpose have distorted the Bible, its teachings, doctrine. They have made it a laughing stock. So that on purpose, so that when anybody else tries to come and tries to get back to the in the beginning, face to face, you got to walk away from all of that and then watch. He'll come. He came to Abraham. He came to Jacob. He came to Moses. He sent Gabriel to come directly to Daniel. He is a face-to-face, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation CPR God. And if that ain't how you getting it, if you getting it any other way, I don't understand. Like, Moses told the people, like, yo, you was afraid to go up and get it yourself, so I had to go get it for you. He told them straight up. This ain't the relationship, homie. We always supposed to go up here and get it face to face from you. But now you like, cause you scared, you sending me to go get it and bring it. Ain't supposed to be no mediator. Y'all relying on these cats to mediate. That's why you ain't got no power. That's why you ain't got no power. It says, Moses came down with a veil over his face, a death shawl, to prevent the children of Israel from seeing that which was passing away. Moses knew, listen, y'all have spiritually died today. Y'all spiritually have died today. And he started working right in the word of God. Not for them, but to testify about God's love and how God was going to deal with some spiritually dead Negroes from that point till eternity. That's all the written word of God is. Because now they couldn't testify. Everybody else beforehand could testify. They could stand up and give their own testimony in the judgment about God's love. Abraham could testify, yo, he came straight to me and told me to slay Isaac, and then he stopped me and I saw a ram in the thicket. But once the children of Israel slept with that golden calf and fornicated and chose the gods of Egypt over the God that had just delivered them from Egypt, oh no, that's the unpardonable. Oh, no problem. That's the unpardonable. The minute they did that, they worshiped the golden calf after God had sent 10 plagues and destroyed all of Egypt, parted the Red Sea, brought them to his holy mountain where Moses had come and seen a burning bush. And then they get there. Imagine on your wedding night. Imagine on your wedding night. And the night before your wedding, your bride goes out to her bachelorette party. And there's male entertainment that comes through to the bachelorette party. And just imagine that your wife sleeps with every single male that came to the bachelorette party before your wedding. And then after that goes down, then she comes down to the altar as if it's all good. So that's literally what the children of Israel did after God had delivered them. And it says, God said, listen, if you on my side, come on this side. If you not, whatever. And then when the ground swallowed those who didn't move, now everybody that had moved to his side, though, listen, y'all, this is the key point. They were scared. The whole relationship was changed. And a relationship, the word says, perfect love cast out all fear. Perfect love cast out all fear. So how can you be afraid of your God who just said, Moses, go tell Pharaoh to let my people go so that they can worship me. So he said, go get them so they can worship me. And you scared to come into my presence and worship me? He sent Moses down with a veil over his face because y'all had a totally different covenant relationship with him. And you're choosing to have the same relationship and do the same thing to God that Israel did. That's a choice. You get to choose to have the relationship that Moses had and go directly face to face, or have the relationship that Israel had. It's a choice. Why choose the inferior covenant? Why not choose the walk of Enoch? Why choose the walk of Israel when you could choose the walk of Enoch? Why? It's a choice. Everything with God is a choice. You're choosing the inferior covenant. And then he told Israel, a new covenant I give you. I'm going to write my commandments on the fleshly tablets of your heart. He was saying it was new to them. It wasn't new to Enoch. It was new to them because they had changed it. Because God said, I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. I'm God, I change not. It wasn't a new covenant, y'all. Y'all preach it like it's a brand new gospel. It was new to them because they had perverted it for 2,000 years. Why are y'all choosing an inferior covenant when you could walk and talk with God? Elijah walked and talked with God and God sent him a chariot. Daniel walked and talked with God and God sent Gabriel, and Gabriel said, yo, the prince of Persia held me up for a little bit, but when Michael stood up, come on, man, Michael gonna stand up on your behalf, but you choosing an inferior covenant. You have no power because of the choice you making. You have no power. Nobody's getting delivered. Nobody's getting delivered because of the choice you making. I came back home, Oakwood University, because y'all playing. Cats is dying every day and you got access to the word and you doing the same thing that the Pharisees doing. He got here and walked among the Pharisees and had to tell the Pharisees, y'all think y'all know me, y'all don't have a clue. I'm God, you trying to correct me. And he's saying the same thing to SDA right now. Because our people is dying every day and we preaching to the choir, while our sons and daughters in the highways and the byways, which is where he told us to go. He said, go to the highways and the byways and bid them to come. He ain't say, yo, show up in church every week for 40 years and keep preaching to each other and encouraging each other. And come on, man. The bridegroom cometh and you ain't getting nobody ready for the bride. And you ain't ready. This is R.P.G. the rugged prophetic ghost. Let's get ITB fit. In the beginning fit. That's that walk. The in the beginning walk, Adam and Eve were the perfect specimens of fitness and health. Let's get in the beginning fit. Let's stop choosing this inferior covenant. Let's choose the original everlasting covenant. Come on, God gonna say it's everlasting and you gonna choose something that's inferior? Come on, man. Go get it straight from his mouth. Stop letting European theologians take and distort what Rome has distorted for thousands of years and then taught your pastors. And now y'all got this watered down, inferior relationship with God. It's time to wake up, man. Too many people is dying and we supposed to be wrapping up this work. I'm going to do my job, but I'm going to the highways and the byways. This who this is for. Let's go.